This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau.
All right, so Jennifer Parson gave me the keys of the ship and said, have at it, my friend. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to another Farm Monitor. Yes, yours truly, Ray DeLessio, flying solo this week while Jennifer takes care of some important GFB business. So without further delay, here is what's coming up on the show. Keeping cows cool in the hottest of summers is no easy task, but one family farm found a way. We'll show you how their state-of-the-art barns help them beat the heat and boost production. Also on the program, the event that attracted over 400 producers, all with one goal in mind: produce more pecans. Why one organizer says it's a vital part of the industry's success here in Georgia. Plus,
well, everybody, range your neck. Coming up a little bit later, I'm hanging out in Oconee County in a cornfield, not only learning about the crops, but learning about what goes on the ground as a cover crop to protect the roots and that plant. That and so much more starts right now on the Farm Monitor.
well, if you combine the historically low milk prices in 2023 with the record heat wave this summer, one can understand why it's been a rough go of things for dairy producers. But as Damon Jones reports, one family-run operation in Belt County managed to maintain production by focusing on keeping their cows happy.
It's no secret that happy cows produce more milk. Keeping them that way in the scorching heat over the past few months, however, provided a major challenge, with 2024 officially being the hottest summer on record. It was a problem Everly Family Farm was well equipped to handle, thanks to all these state-of-the-art barns designed to maintain the cows' well-being, no matter the conditions.
We've had a good year so far. It's been a hot summer, but our barns here are, that's the purpose of them, is to keep our cows comfortable in hot weather, and they do very well at that. The cows lay in nice soft sand beds, very comfortable. We keep fans and sprinklers on them, keep their body temperature down so they can handle the summer temperatures very well in there, and that's what we try to do, is keep them comfortable.
Keeping that production high is now more important than ever, particularly with prices for milk back on the rebound. After seeing them fall to their lowest mark in more than a decade last year, they are now up more than $7 per hundredweight in 2024, marking a 43% jump since the beginning of the year. It's a just reward for all the hard work that goes into keeping milk on the shelves.
The milk prices are decent right now, so we're always glad for that. It's a lot of work. It really is. We have a good staff, and that helps, but it is a lot of work. Sure is.
This dairy takes the family part of its name very seriously, as that staff includes a couple of the sons that help keep the daily operations running smoothly. With the number of dairy farms across the state on a sharp decline, creating a multi-generational operation like this one brings a certain sense of satisfaction.
We take a lot of pride in that. I've got two sons that are working with me. They've got a lot of energy. They're in here, trying to keep things productive, and they do a great job helping out well. So it's a family farm, and I really appreciate my boys' help as well.
And it is quite a lot to handle, as more than 1,000 cows must be milked and cared for each and every day of the year, no matter the weather. However, it's truly a labor of love the Everly family wouldn't have any other way.
We milk around 1,200. We send probably 10,000 gallons a day, roughly. And it's a 365-day job for sure. We just like taking care of the cows, seeing the cows comfortable and healthy. That's what it's all about, and selling quality milk as well.
Reporting from Waynesboro, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Well, sure, Georgia farmers produce on average 80 to 100 million pounds of pecans each year, but as each of them will tell you, we could always do better. Maybe that explains why a recent event was so well attended. John Holcomb has the story from Pulaski County.
Recently, pecan growers gathered for their annual Fall Field Day, a day that allows producers from around the state the chance to fellowship, get updates on the latest research, and hear from industry experts, something that's vital to the industry and its success.
We have an annual Fall Field Day every year where we gather around 400 growers from all over the state to come see at 3 different locations. Either it's at a farmer's location, UGA Ponder Farms in Tifton, or the USDA Byron Station. This year we have chosen a grower's facility. This is an opportunity for our growers to learn what other growers are doing on their facilities and operations. It's a way for our researchers to present what they have, their findings throughout the year, and a way for growers to network and connect with each other.
While their attendees also got an update on this year's crop from Lenny Wells, Extension Pecan Specialist with the University of Georgia, who spoke about the growing season and the many challenges it presented.
The growing season this year has been a little challenging, as they always seem to be. We had good weather early on. In July we started getting some rain, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but for pecans it can be, because that rainfall drives the disease pressure. And we had a period there through July and into early to mid-August that it was challenging to keep up with those sprays, because it was raining every day in many places, and they were having a hard time getting out there and keeping the nuts covered. So that was a challenge. And then more recently it's turned dry right here at the time where pecan trees really need the water the most to fill those kernels. So we're hoping we're not going to see any quality problems from this dry weather. If we get some rain this weekend as we expect, that should help a lot.
Aside from dealing with the weather, growers have also had to deal with another huge challenge, the cost of their inputs, which have skyrocketed in just the last 2 or 3 years. And to add insult to injury, the price for pecans, like a lot of other commodities, has fallen.
Certainly input costs are a huge one. And then just our price that we get for the crop. It's really gotten to the point where we don't know going into every harvest season what we're going to get paid for that crop. And that presents some challenges, because we're putting that money into the crop all year long, not sure if we're going to be able to cover those expenses. And that's not uncommon in agriculture. That's just about anything you grow, you see that. But it's become an increasing problem in pecans over the last few years.
However, despite the many challenges growers are facing, Wells believes that they should still have a decent crop this year.
We've got a pretty good crop in Georgia this year. I wouldn't say it's a record crop or anything, but it's a good average, decent crop. Most growers, it looks very well. I would say it's definitely larger than last year's crop, but like I said, it's not a record crop or anything.
Reporting in Hawkinsville for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Well, don't forget, you can catch up on any stories you might have missed today or from our previous programs. They're all up on our YouTube channel, the Farm Monitor. We've got a ton of content covering a variety of subjects, and the best part is our archive goes all the way back to 2009. And while you're over there, give us a click and a like on the Farm Monitor Facebook page. Plus, if you've got a cool story idea or just want to drop us a comment or suggestion, shoot us a message on Facebook or email us at news@farm-monitor.com.
Well, everybody, Ranger Neck coming up after the break. That side of the cornfield might look very, very clean and pristine. This side, not so much. But it's this side, from a cover crop standpoint, that's producing beautiful ears of corn. I'll explain how after the break.
Hey y'all, I'm Tom McCall, president of Georgia Farm Bureau. As we all know, fall is just around the corner, and with that comes all kind of events and festivals, and especially one that we all look forward to is the Georgia National Fair in Perry. The fair begins on October the 3rd and runs through the 13th. It has something for everyone, rides, games, shows, and don't ever forget the great fair food. Also remember, the fair gives everybody a chance to connect with Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. Be sure to visit the Georgia Grown Building, the Baby Barn, and all the great ag exhibits in the booth. Especially stop by the Georgia Farm Bureau booth and visit the #1 ag organization in Georgia. Also, make sure to take a walk through the livestock barns to see some of the prettiest cattle, sheep, goats, and hogs in Georgia. Visit with our young livestock exhibitors and their families. I want to personally invite you to join us on Saturday, October the 5th for Georgia Farm Bureau Day at the fair and help us celebrate all things ag. For more information, go to georgianationalfair.com. Jane and I look forward to seeing you at this event, and we all are going to have fun celebrating agriculture.
Well, a good time was had by all recently as the Locust Grove Event Center played host to the GFB Farmer Appreciation Dinner. Sponsored by 3 different county farm bureaus, the evening featured a delicious barbecue dinner, door prizes, and a special appearance by Georgia Farm Bureau President Tom McCall. This event celebrates the vital role farmers play in keeping the state's agricultural legacy strong and growing.
It's exciting to see this. We haven't had a chance to do this since COVID, and you can see, behind me, it's packed out tonight. I think we had close to 200 folks coming out tonight, and it's exciting to see. We got multi-counties out here, Henry, Clayton, and Butts County, and so it's cool to see us crossing county lines too, and building relationships and making this a statewide organization.
Can't go without talking about Fresh Air Barbecue. It's voted the #1 barbecue in the country a lot, so and we biased, but the good part about this is all these people get together and they talk to each other, and they look like families sitting around, and that's what Farm Bureau is, and we hope it stays that way.
Holding a juvenile Jore spider. Until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you, like I always do, that enthusiasm is contagious. We're coming to you this month from my home county of Oconee County, and when I'm driving around in this county looking at all these beautiful cornfields, I often wonder to myself about cover crops. What is on the ground in between these beautiful rows of corn that provides such a benefit? And there's a certain person that knows something about it, and he just so happens to be here in the cornfield today, and that's Dr. Nick Van
How you
Singer.
doing? Great to see you.
Hey, Doc, so good to see you today out in the field. I want to talk about cover crops.
Sure.
You're a weed scientist in the College of Ag at UGA. Let's talk about why cover crops. What is so important about that? We talk about it, but what's the value?
Yeah, so cover crops are kind of grown opposite of when we normally would grow our cash crops. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll grow like a winter cover crop, right? So things like cereal rye, things like crimson clover are really common. And so what we're doing is we plant those and we let them grow through the winter, and we get the benefit of additional biomass, right? And that biomass helps us deal with weeds. We'll actually go and we'll lay that cover crop down. It'll create a nice big mat. And those weeds have a hard trouble coming up through that, right?
You create a canopy.
Basically create a giant blanket for the ground. And so those plants have a hard time coming up through that cover crop. They also provide benefits in terms of like holding a lot of soil moisture, which we all know crops need to grow well. They also provide the ability for water to move into the soil very quickly, right? So a lot of times we'll see water run off of the field without a cover crop, but when we have a cover crop there, it holds that moisture right where the crop really wants it. Just like a sponge. And so, cover crops provide a lot of benefits to our main crop, like corn.
All right, so let's go below ground. We're out here in the field. Dr. Matt Levi, good to see you, Doc.
Good morning.
So, Associate Professor of Soil Science in the College of Ag at UGA, you were just telling me something about soil and the value of soil in the context of cover crops. Tell me more about that.
Sure. So one really important thing about soils is that they sustain life as we know it. One way they do that is by storing a lot of carbon and organic material. So we get a lot of nutrients, such as nitrogen, mixed in with that organic matter. Kind of a fun fact about soils is that they are the largest pool of carbon in the terrestrial environment. So
in the world?
In the world.
Wow.
Only second to the oceans.
Wow.
And so with that organic matter stored in our soil, we really need to focus on things to improve that cycling of nutrients and also store more carbon.
And so in the context of cover crops, we're looking at some beautiful, I would call, I think for sure, some beautiful coloration of soils. Talk to us about there's a difference here in the darker and the lighter color.
Sure. So in the surface, you can see that we have this very dark colored brown soil, right? So there's a lot of organic material mixed in. You can see some of the old stubble from previous crops. You can see root material sticking out from this bed of different varieties and different sizes. But what we can't see is all the small organisms that live here and essentially cycle nutrients through this soil.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get lucky and we can actually see evidence that those critters have been here. You can see this large pore here.
Yep.
This is created from, this is what we call a biopore. It's created from probably an earthworm.
Okay.
It was
big
active,
one.
a big one.
Go fishing with that guy.
That's right. And so, you know, underneath we can see roots sticking out of this soil bed.
All right.
And so there's a lot of living things happening here in the surface. If we contrast that to soil that's much deeper in the profile, then we can see our characteristic red soils of Georgia, right?
Yep.
And so in this case, this field has been in cover crops for some time. And so there's some mixing of browns and reds here with this upper B horizon.
All right, Nick, so we've been above ground, we've been below ground. What's the future of cover crop research?
Well, Nick, thanks. Yeah, we're really just focusing on how we manage this living mulch, right? So one of the challenges that we really face is dealing with weeds that move in, right? So we're really looking at how do we manage the weeds in this, right? It's a living thing, just like, you know, just like our crop.
Yep.
And so that's one of the things we're really going to be looking at in the future is how do we manage weeds in this perennial white clover so that we can have it last as long as possible.
So the cover crop's not just for corn. What other kind of things are we studying?
Yeah, so we've also done work in cotton, and we've looked at the benefits of the living mulch in corn and in cotton, providing nitrogen, providing ground cover, and really helping those crops out, fixing its own nitrogen, providing it to the crop. So it's a great benefit in both ways.
And getting in the field one time, putting it down once, planting.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Living mulch. That is a cool phrase to learn more about.
Absolutely.
I learned a lot, Nick. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for today.
Thanks.
It's been great to hang out together. So y'all know what to do. Hop online and learn more about cover crops. And while you're online, check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page, the Farm Monitor Facebook page. And until next time, Nick, like we always say, enthusiasm is contagious.
Indeed it is.
So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here again this time next month. See ya. Holding a juvenile Jore spider. Until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you like I always do, that enthusiasm is contagious.
When we come back, Jess McNeil, a 7th generation farmer who returned to his roots after following a path away from the farm. Now he's combining tradition and entrepreneurship in a whole new way.
Hey y'all, I'm Tom McCall, Georgia Farm Bureau President. Coming up in just the next few weeks is an event that we all in the agriculture world look forward to. It's the Sunbelt Ag Expo in Moultrie. You know, Sunbelt is known as North America's premier farm show. It's an annual event that showcases the latest and greatest farming technologies and equipment producers can take back to their operations to enhance their farm sustainability. The Sunbelt Expo has something for everyone. Whether you farming 2,000 acres or 20, I guarantee you there's something for you. I sincerely hope that you will consider visiting the Expo this year. And while you're there, stop by the Georgia Farm Bureau Georgia Agriculture Building next to the water tower. This event is October the 15th through the 17th. And for more information, look up sunbeltexpo.com.
Hey, I'm Nick Place, Dean and Director for the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences at the University of Georgia. And we are here today at Jore Farms to learn more about the work that they do in all of the production of peaches and strawberries and other crops, as well as what they do with agritourism, which is such a huge opportunity for our state. So we're here to partner with them and work with them about how we can best support the things that they do here in this farm and other related ag industries on behalf of our teaching enterprise, research, as well as our extension outreach program.
We've always leaned on the College of Ag, and in particular Extension, not just when we need something, when they come by to visit or go on a tour or something like that. It's always encouraging, and we just appreciate that.
Finally this week, in their ongoing series, Eyes of a Farmer, the Georgia Peanut Commission profiles an individual who at first stepped away to pursue education and new skills, but ultimately felt the pull of his family's legacy and returned to the farm.
My name's Jess McNeil. I'm a 7th generation farmer in Sumter County, Georgia. Our farm's called the Jam Spread, which my grandfather coined many, many years ago. We've grown everything over the years, but currently we grow seed peanuts and corn. After high school, I went to the University of Georgia. One of the best pieces of advice my dad ever gave me was go learn how to do something else. He said, you know how to farm, and I do because he taught me so well. You know how to farm, go learn how to do something else. So I went to the University of Georgia, got 2 degrees actually, got a master's degree in forestry and business, and never really wanted to return to the farm, but the longer I stayed away, the more it pulled, the more, I guess, the dirt in my veins called me back home, and so here I am, and I don't regret it one bit. 2012 was my first crop year back on the farm. We had a great year that year, great yields, great prices. I'm not here if not for my dad and the many men before me. I'm standing on their shoulders, and so I'm forever grateful and thankful for what my dad taught me and how he raised me to be able to take over things and do things, and we're still here today during that time. One of the hardest things over several years now is finding profitability on the farm, kind of a steady financial solvency year in and year out. And I know it's difficult for everyone, and the entrepreneur in me and my wife too, we've started searching for different ways that we can set our own price. You know, one of the most frustrating parts about being a farmer is we do all this work and we take all these raw ingredients and we manufacture this wonderful product, and we don't get to set our price. We just have to take whatever we can get, and that's been frustrating to me over the years. And so we have developed relationships for making our own peanut butter. So we have our peanuts and our label and our brand, and we have a partnership to make a really good solid peanut butter, and we're going to take that to market and tell our story about all the generations. And you know, people want that connection. They want traceability of their products. They want those things, and hopefully we can be successful at doing that and providing that for the customers. As frustrating as it is at times, dealing with Mother Nature, dealing with breakdowns or whatever it may be, gnats, heat. I love every day I get to be a part of God's mechanism of creation, you know, and I get to be a part of a spoke in that wheel, and I get firsthand experiences of from a seed to a plant, and that's very humbling to be a part of that wheel and to watch that season after season after season.
All right, our thanks to the Georgia Peanut Commission for that, and from our family to yours, thank you for making this show possible. Before we send you on your way, friendly reminder that for all the latest ag news regarding food, recipes, and what's happening on Georgia Farms, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.